Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is a historic hashtag Spider-Man Sunday and I hope you enjoy. Today, Sunday, January 19th, 2020 marks the 100th hashtag Spider-Man Sunday. The fact that I have been doing this consistently for the last 100 weeks is crazy. It feels like the first one, Spider-Man Taz Episode 7 review, happened just yesterday and I still have so much more lists and reviews I want to do. Today, I'm making my list on the top 5 best Spider-Man writers. Number 1 may be obvious, but 2 entries I think will surprise you, so let's go. Number 5, Dave Michelinie. The co-creator of Venom, Michelinie wrote the first and greatest Eddie Brock Venom stories in the 90s. He wrote Spider-Man with action and comedy just as good as the previous writers. He wrote a bunch of out of my second or third favorite Spider-Man era ever, Amazing Spider-Man issues 296 through 388. A lot of times Spider-Man was in situations he had never been in before, even after 300 plus issues, but the writing made these villains and adventures feel fresh. My favorite has to be when Spider-Man has to face some symbiote, or the 3 Inferno crossover issues, or when he gets actual superpowers and becomes Cosmic Spider-Man. Number 4, Gary Conway. He was the second Spider-Man writer ever after Stan Lee. He wrote The Amazing Spider-Man issues 111 through 149, writing the first appearance of Punisher, Jackal, and some forgotten Spider-Man rogues. And of course, maybe the biggest Spider-Man comic story of all time, the death of Gwen Stacy. The stories he wrote were groundbreaking and changed Marvel Comics up, even from just his Spider-Man stories. They felt very serious but also fun and enjoyable. He created so many supervillains as well during his time in Amazing Spider-Man that I have to praise him for that. Number 3, Dan Slott. The main writer for The Amazing Spider-Man in the last decade, Dan Slott has written more than needed for The Amazing Spider-Man and spin-offs for the hero. I do agree when he says Peter and MJ's relationship is anti-Marvel, that when he says it's really dumb and he can be a bit of a troll online and has arguably been writing Spider-Man for too long. I still really like his content overall, having some of my favorite Spider-Man stories like Big Time, Brand New Day, and Superior Spider-Man under his belt. I don't know if you count Superior Spider-Man as in the same category as Classic Spider-Man, but I, for one, love the 31 Superior Spider-Man issues. He has done so much for the Spider-Man character in the 2010s, and I find his writing to be very fun in that it works well for the character of Spider-Man. I love Brand New Day and Dying Wish stories, knowing what I do now, and of course, I've always loved Superior Spider-Man. To me, Dan Slott writes a great Peter Parker who is content with being Spider-Man, an era in his life I thought we would never get to. Number 2, Roger Stern. He first wrote Amazing Spider-Man issue 206, then he was in the Spectacular Spider-Man writing issues 43 through 61, which isn't as well known as when he wrote his Amazing Spider-Man issues 224 through 251. He gave us one well-known Spider-Man story during that time too. In fact, in his second Spider-Man issues ever written, in the Spectacular Spider-Man issue 43, Roger Kingsley was introduced, who would later become another villain he would create, the Hobgoblin. He's definitely a legendary Spider-Man writer, and if he wrote more issues back in the day, I would not have complained. Number 1, Stan Lee. Of course, the man who created the wall crawler and set the character with his beliefs, characteristics, and enemies that are seen even almost 60 years later. Stan didn't just create a great superhero, he made up a great character that stood out from all the rest. Stan Lee wrote the very first 110 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man, being responsible for making some of the greatest comic book characters of all time during those stories. His unique ideas and the fact that he managed to put it down on paper well for a new teenage superhero and to have each story do so well and be very entertaining and had some serious moments in it too, created my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Those are my top 5 Spider-Man writers, and I will say that this list can change from time to time, but the top 3 will always be on there and Stan at number 1. I want to also make a video on my top 20 Spider-Man stories of all time. I couldn't finish it before this Sunday, and so I'll wait until later. Please leave suggestions on what you'd like to see down below on new issues or lists. And I will return to do a top 5 best stories list on Spider-Man villains in the holiday season, if you guys are wondering. For now, Forgotten Rogues and other DC villain stories will be on this channel. Next Sunday will be a video all about the character Hybrid. Thank you so much for watching this, and have a great day.